Okay. Oh, okay. Wait, I'm trying to contain myself, but it's been a while since I've watched a death battle, and they all get claimed. So, hey, I don't even care, man. I am desperately requiring a death battle. You know what? I'm kind of wondering if these cats reply back. Maybe I can just ask them. Yeah, I can most likely just ask them to react to their content instead of just assuming. That's why it keeps messing up. Okay, but anyway, Magneto versus Tetsuo, Marvel versus Akira, Death Battle. Sponsored by HelloFresh and Bespoke Pod. No, frick. They are sponsored by these two. See, it says it right here.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by HelloFresh and Bespoke Post.
These people are sponsored, not me. I'm sponsored by no one. So, because I'm sponsored by no one, I'm gonna make some of this delicious reactions to content and keep working towards something. We'll figure out what that is later. In any case, if you guys are ready, spuds up and let's go. Rooster teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Magneto, Marvel's mutant master of magnetism.
Tetsuo Shima, Akira's telekinetic terror of Neo-Tokyo.
These two maestros of kinesis have ignited revolution not just in their worlds, but also the very mediums they exist within.
Yes,
He's
sir.
where's my boomstick?
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills
going
to
for
find out
Akira.
who would win a death battle.
Magneto's overpowered.
In the short
Isn't Magneto the one who can mess with the iron in your body? And use it as a weapon? Dang, I'm gonna root for Akira.
duration of modern civilization,
Magneto, I believe,
likely
is
no
more
conflict
likely
tested
to
humanity
take this
more
win.
than the Second World War. In the primary Marvel
I'm
616
going for
universe,
Akira.
this fact is no different, especially to the Eisenhart family and their only son.
You may know him as Magnus, Eric, or Max, but if you ask him, he'd say his true name is Magneto.
As a Jewish child in Nazi Germany, Magneto's early life was, well, extremely traumatic.
Even after eventually escaping certain
even
death with
that's
his
an
future
understatement.
wife, misfortune always followed wherever he went.
Thanks to his unexpected mutation called the X gene, the mark of a superhuman. After settling down in Russia with his new family, the KGB quickly found out about this quirk, so they burned his house down with his own daughter inside.
Naturally, he snapped and killed them all. And I don't blame him. I'd do that too. Too
Understood.
bad his wife didn't get it and ditched him, though. But that's when Magneto made a choice. Since humans hurt him his entire life, he'd do the same to them in the name of mutants everywhere.
At first, Magneto turned to the telepathic power
Yay, nationalism.
House Charles Xavier and his fledgling team of heroes. But his new friend wasn't thrilled with the idea of,
Kill him.
subjugating the human race. So, Magneto formed his own team of mutants, the Brotherhood.
Magneto can telekinetically move, bend, and reshape any metal he's aware of. Bullets, vehicles, buildings, you name it. Even himself when he manipulates his personal magnetic field for
His
flight
self.
and energy barriers.
Magnetic kinesis is far more versatile than it would appear at first glance. The blood in your body has iron in it.
Yeah.
The air has
As
traces of
well as
lead and
many
mercury.
other
Whole mountains are lined with
minerals.
metallic ore. The
Those are the
earth
metal.
itself is surrounded by a literal magnetic field.
Yes.
So many toys for Maggie to play with. He can detect magnetic fields at such a huge range, he can even pinpoint Earth's magnetic rays while stranded on a planet in another galaxy. And guess what? He was able to use those rays to pull himself back to Earth in a
Excuse me,
single
what?
day.
His range is even more remarkable than that. Did you know
This
that
man
in
pulled himself
1820,
back to Earth?
physicist Hans Christian Ørsted discovered that electric currents, like those of electrons and protons and atoms, produce their own magnetic fields?
Yeah.
Magneto can fine-tune his control to affect these very subatomic particles. Dummy here will illustrate such a particle
heck no.
with positively charged
Oh,
protons
heck no.
and negative electrons.
He's literally bending magnetic fields at an atomic level. This is bad. This is so
My life
bad.
is as meaningless
This is
as
so
an
bad.
atom is small.
So
I
what
want
you're
Akira to
saying
end
is
them.
Magneto could, like, yank one of those out.
Correct, potentially changing an atom's entire chemical makeup. However,
And
neutrons do not have a
destroying
charge, and without the ability to adjust
everything.
those to accommodate the change in atomic mass, the atom would become unstable and do that. Magneto's violent protest against humankind clashed with Xavier's peaceful reconciliation, not unlike the ideologies taught by Malcolm X and Dr. King, by whom
Exactly.
Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
We've got Martin Luther King and black nationalism. In this case, it's mutant nationalism. I mean, then again, see, it's a more extreme version, as Malcolm X obviously stated that violence should be used in necessary cases, but he did not go out and start murdering people. So then, but this guy is a mutant. He's got superpowers, and he can get away with it without getting killed immediately. So yeah, same mindset, but more extreme. What's the word I'm looking for? X X X. Dang it, I'm thinking of a word. Expanded. No. Enunciated. No. That means something completely different. And expand this. Ah, come on, man. Accentuated? Accentuated. I think that's the word. I think that's it. Is that the word I'm looking for? Is that it? Yes. Actually, that in context, it doesn't work as well as I thought it did. You know what?
Kirby were inspired. Magneto would spend most of his career
Okay.
pushing Xavier away to prove his philosophies superior, which meant doing battle with Xavier's school of thought. Quite literally.
And Baldy's mind powers are no joke, but thanks to Magneto's psionic repelling helmet, Professor X couldn't touch him. Magneto survived Cyclops' earth-splitting lasers, absorbed the power of the sun to battle Iron Man, ripped the adamantium skeleton out of Wolverine's body, and even taken on Hercules himself.
What the-
You know, the Greek legend,
Hercules.
Zero to Hero, the guy who held up
Zero
the
to
skies
Hero.
of Olympus for Atlas? That Hercules.
Seems sensible. Magneto once used the
Where are
Earth's
you
magnetic
going?
field to overwhelm the Phoenix Force, which can effortlessly destroy
Oh my
planets, let alone
goodness.
far more.
Hell, if he really wanted to, Magneto could totally just fling the
Destroy
Earth
it.
up its axis.
It's entirely possible he may have eventually resorted to just that. Over time, it became clear Magneto's war was doing
Literally.
far more harm than good for his fellow mutants, however well-intentioned he may have been at first.
Luckily, he later realized he was going a bit overboard and began
Exactly.
reevaluating his perspective. Good for you, Mags. It's really tough to recognize
I wish Malcolm X would have at least had a chance to do that much. He just got shot.
when you're the baddie.
It took time and patience not just from Magneto, but also from his peers. Yet eventually, his path was completely changed. He even became a leader for Xavier's X-Men.
And died.
Don't let his new goody two-shoes ways fool you. Whenever there's a threat to mutants, you can bet Magneto will be there to annihilate it. Forever. By any means necessary.
Yeah. He's loyal.
This episode of Death Battle is
Stupid, but
sponsored by HelloFresh.
With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes. #1 meal kit.
Over 30 years ago, a new type of bomb was set off over Tokyo,
The
and
big
9 hours
man.
later began the Third World War.
Welcome
Wait,
to
what?
20.
This is 1988. And it's in Tokyo. That's neither of those things are accurate to what I thought they were talking about. But then again, I mean, it's still Japanese, Nagasaki. Oh well.
2030 or
This is a
2019 if
different
you're watching the
universe.
anime. The buildings are taller, the motorcycles are
World War
cooler,
III.
and the future is brighter. Oh, wait, not really. If you find yourself in the Capsule Gang, you'll meet Shotaro Kaneda, who's like your textbook anime Chad. Gets the ladies,
Ew.
meets the
What the heck?
baddies.
What's
Shotaro
wrong with
Kaneda,
him?
who's like your textbook
heck is
anime
wrong with-
Chad.
Oh,
Gets the
ew.
ladies, meets the
Is he-
baddies,
oh,
and
like-
cops the sweetest rigs.
Man,
Man, I need to get me one of those.
And then there's the little brother
trying
of
to
the
be funny.
group, Kaneda's
Okay,
best friend, Tetsuo Shima. He's,
You
well,
The exact opposite. A total wimp. As a kid, Tetsuo in his
Go on,
college
say that.
thesis forehead got bullied for being the new kid at the orphanage. That's until Big
forehead. This boy's got a 7 head. Heck, you
Bro
talking about?
Kaneda came to the rescue.
eventually the two went to vocational school together and formed
Christ.
the Capsules. But Tetsuo was never satisfied with Kaneda being the leader of the pack. Tetsuo desired more than anything to be top dog.
Oh, I can just see that monkey's paw curling in my mind. Or that kid walking down the street. Shit! Tetsuo,
No.
watch out! You're gonna...
How the heck?
That definitely should have killed him.
That small
But since it
child just
didn't,
destroyed
Tetsuo
that
earned
bike.
himself a ticket to military confinement. Turns out they had an under-the-table program for developing child superweapons.
In the same program that backfired and jump-started the war, Tetsuo
Excuse
became
me?
Japan's Esper number 41.
He may not have been a natural with bikes, baddies, or babes,
They
but
just
this
decided to
telekinesis
take-
stuff hit different. He walked out of that hospital ward
What is this,
effortlessly
open
flying,
leaves?
reading minds, and blending people into strawberry jelly.
Yeah,
Tetsuo
open
got what he
leaves.
wanted. Power, along with the hunger for more of it.
A hunger that used to only be satiated with
blood.
drugs. And not just any gateway drug, pills so potent that a single gram of the stuff could kill you.
So, pretty bad. Kinda reminds me of college days, huh? Snow wizard.
He's just
Tetsuo's
wasting
main
all over the
ability
place.
is his constantly increasing psionic energy, growing more and more powerful over time. This is due to Tetsuo's link to, quote, the memories of the universe, end quote. It's weird.
Either way, Tetsuo leveled up from lame gangbuster to certified badass. This guy is a walking natural disaster. His telekinesis can shake the planet, easily cause earthquakes over a dozen miles below the surface. He can summon psychic barriers for defense and crush foes with friggin' gravity wells. He can dart around as a literal bolt of lightning or even teleport in an instant.
Tetsuo's telekinesis can be so precise he can target and obliterate specific parts of the body. He can heal severe wounds
Trust
quickly,
that
but
man's
even after
whole
losing a whole
brain.
limb, he can craft a new one using whatever nearby materials he wants.
With these powers, Top Dog Kaneda didn't matter anymore. Who needed his approval? Tetsuo
He said,
tasted that
"Screw
good
you
shit and
and
he was
everything you
hooked.
stand
And
for.
when he found
You're
out
done."
another expert named Akira could deal him even more power, he rampaged through Tokyo to find him.
And this is where versions of the story differ.
Ahem. Spoilers ahoy!
You may be familiar with the 1980s.
Oh wait, this is Tetsuo. Why the heck was I thinking he was fighting Akira? Like this, I just saw the name of the anime and thought, ooh, main character.
animation, where Akira had been dissected for research. However, in the original manga, Akira is not only alive, but even more
Then again,
powerful.
Akira's not the
Once
main
that little
character
run
of this
nuked Tokyo, Tetsuo would erect the Great
is the
Tokyo
main
Empire with Akira and himself as its leaders.
You know
But
what's
he
good?
ended up just abusing the position for endless sex and inflating his ego.
Ew.
With Kaneda's rebellion at his front door, Tetsuo
Boy,
took a turn for the worse.
That's a child.
And inflating
What's
his
wrong
ego.
with you?
With Kaneda's rebellion at his front door, Tetsuo took a turn for the worse. He
I might. Oh Jesus. Yep, this is what happens when you're taking all these medications that are literally gonna murder people.
had to fight.
Tetsuo's defeated other powerful espers, dodged light-speed lasers, and jumped to the moon faster than anyone could blink, and then punched a big old hole in it. And if you ask, Boomerstick, wouldn't that mess up gravity on Earth? You would be right, because it totally did. Screwed the planet, I guess.
Oh Jesus.
Stupid moon.
Which brings us to Tetsuo's folly. His abuse of his powers spiraled until he lost control. Unfortunately for
control of
Kaneda's
everything.
rebellion, this did not make Tetsuo an easier enemy to confront. Exactly opposite, in fact, as Tetsuo painfully mutated into an unstoppable behemoth.
Yep, that's not totally disturbing at all.
I'm happy to say the manga's version is even more disturbing.
I mean,
like a
I know
giant
babies can be monsters, but that's a whole nother level.
It is pain incarnate. I can
It's like he's got freaking Steven Johnson syndrome. Hold up. Cover your eyes. Cover your eyes. Actually, I should have warned. I should have warned it. Sorry. Nope. Never mind. Never mind. I just pulled that up without any warning. I'm sorry to whoever saw that and wasn't ready for it. Anyway, I already looked at it. So yeah, I've seen that stuff before, but not everybody has. So I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to anyone who is not prepared for that. But yeah,
Relate. Another
Steven Johnson
expert
syndrome,
described
baby.
Tetsuo's struggle as ego death, which has multiple definitions, but in this case is likely symbolic of the version attributed to drug use.
Yeah, it's described
See,
as a
see,
shedding
I
of
told
one's
you it
own
was the drugs,
identity.
okay.
Like how LSD can emulate a wild out-of-body experience, and you come back with a new perspective. Though this is maybe a little more extreme. In fact, you could say Tetsuo was shedding his human body to play with the powers of a god.
I wish I could shed out of my body. But in this case, Tetsuo going full out of body meant becoming a mound of raw, ever-expanding energy.
Which almost nuked Tokyo all over again.
Yep.
And those
Heck, he
explosions
nuked
are
himself,
not
that's for
normal.
sure.
I would know.
He's
Top
dead.
scientists in both the manga and animated
He's
versions
literally
describe
dead.
these explosions as births of a new universe.
Given its
Big Bang.
properties of nuclear fusion and proton collapse, Tetsuo's mutated form was likely creating a Big Bang.
You know, the thing that started our whole universe?
Right. In the manga, it instead ended the
It's a theory.
Espers and their abilities
It's
once
a
and
likely
for
theory,
all.
but
A
it's
testament
a
that
theory.
humankind is unsuited to wield the powers of the divine.
Oh.
Though the anime's even more trippy. Thanks to Akira and his buddies, Tetsuo got so high on ego death, he ascended time-space to become god of a new universe.
Imagine doing drugs and becoming a god because of it.
Kind of worth it, right?
And yet, Kaneda kept his empire up in his
Kinda
honor,
worth
now
it.
as the great Akira Empire.
Yay.
Ironically, in death, Tetsuo finally received the attention he so desperately craved.
This episode of
Yeah.
Death Battle is sponsored by Bespoke Post.
Take your summer adventures to the next level with Bespoke
still got a
Post
feeling
and their new
Magneto's gonna
seasonal
win this,
lineup
but I'm
of
rooting for
must-have
Tetsuo.
Box of Awesome
I
collections.
don't know why. I
Bespoke
just
Post
wanted
partners
to
with small
Tetsuo.
businesses and emerging
'Cause I
brands
thought he
to
was
bring you the
Akira.
most unique goods every month. Like the
Did Akira
Carnivore
even
Box,
do
which has
anything in
this
his anime?
amazing American barbecue rub. Perfect for a true carnivore like
Okay.
myself.
Yeah, you did
No
do-
matter what you have going
did
on this
do
season,
something.
Box of Awesome has you
Just-
covered. From
he was
camping
a
gear
very
essentials to
insignificant
beach day and
character,
travel
being the
must-haves,
title
Box of
character
Awesome
of
has
the
everything you need for summer.
To get started, take the quiz at
think they would've at least
boxofawesome.com.
wanted
Your answers will help
more.
them pick the right box of awesome for you. Each
He
box
was
is
just-
valued at around $70, but you only pay a fraction of that price.
Plus, with each Box of Awesome, you're supporting small businesses. 90% of everything that comes in your Box of Awesome is from a
Not
small up-and-coming
much of
brand.
anything.
It's free to sign up, and you can skip a month or cancel anytime.
Get 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com
Oh, well.
and enter the code DEATHBATTLE at checkout.
That's boxofawesome.com, code DeathBattle for 20% off your first box. Boxofawesome.com, code DeathBattle.
I didn't skip this one because I was
All right, the
Any
combatants are
committed-
set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Alright, let's do this.
Even in Japan, they fail to recognize our superiority.
Wrong country, Grandpa! You're in Akira turf now! You're dead meat!
Wait, Akira was the name of it. Oh. Okay, I'm just stupid. Good to know. Yeah, Akira was not a cookie.
Impudent child!
The name of
The hell are you calling
Company.
child? I make the rules around here!
the organization, child enslavement. I don't know. He just threw it back. He said, you want some, I'll take that.
You're wasting my time.
Okay, let's be honest. Look, I know I paused the fight, but Akira's psychic power is so much stronger. Magneto's is more diverse. But Tetsuo's is also stronger. When it all comes down to it, Magneto is probably going to start pulling out these world-bending tactics. Tetsuo is definitely faster. Like you saw him jump all the way to the moon in a split second. Like, he's faster by a million. Then again, that's a measure distance. But
Parlor tricks for
A
the
million
master
light
of
years.
magnetism.
he should be faster anyway. I gotta find a million. What is a term that measures speed?
I'll kill you! I'll kill you!
Faster by something.
Your
Okay.
history, scumbag!
A million times at least. A million times faster. Magneto is gonna have a hard time hitting him. If he does manage to, then things are gonna get difficult. You know, with a big hit, I mean. Something that actually matters, like taking the iron out of his blood. Let me stop talking over the fight. And the world is destroyed. Oh no, the helmet fell off. This is bad. Oh, hold up. Oh man, you shouldn't have got this close.
I've had enough tantrums to last a lifetime.
Oh, no, it's not gonna end like this. Oh, Akira's mutating. He lost control, so now Magneto's gonna die in a giant ball of energy. That's the worst way to go out. Yay! Giant power, baby. Mutant blob.
Listen, welcome, I'll handle this on my own! Not weak! Die!
Oh no! His helmet's off. So that means that he can be affected by mental manipulation? I think that's what it is. Cut yourself out. Now run, god dang it, run! He's dead. Magneto's dead, again. So does Akira technically win? Or Tetsuo, I mean?
Poor child.
Excuse me? The heck did you do that? God dang it. What, thank you? Oh, well, I guess he would be happy to die in this case.
You are welcome.
Come on, Tetsuo!
Tetsuo!
I was rooting for you, man.
Oh, God. Yeah, I'm never doing that again.
Tetsuo's esoteric telekinesis.
See? Yeah, telekinesis had a broader range of effect. Was Magneto really stronger, though? Because Tetsuo, to begin with, is just a force to be reckoned with. He can literally caused earthquakes from... he caused earthquakes from several miles under the earth, but at the same time, Magneto could shift the earth off its axis. Then again, does that make up for Magneto's general lack of strength? Because when he steps out of an area, things don't just start getting destroyed. He has to either build up to it, or things mostly just stay the way.
And other bizarre abilities certainly gave Magneto pause, but the Master of Magnetism had greater control over his foe.
The numbers don't lie. Tetsuo cratering the moon was insane, but Magneto punched Iron Man with the force of the sun. And while Tetsuo jumped all the way to the moon, Magneto could move across galaxies.
Against Tetsuo in his human form,
true.
Magneto obviously held a sizable advantage in power and speed.
But stats aren't all that matters. With his precise telekinesis, Tetsuo could just target Magneto's organs. GG, right?
Yes, but Magneto had similar skills.
That
There
is
are
true.
very few substances on Earth that lack any metallic or magnetic components.
Exactly.
And Magneto is very creative with his powers.
Which he could use to predict Tetsuo's teleportation and even shut down his telekinesis. And his scraps with Xavier prove he could handle Tetsuo's messing with his head. The biggest challenge for Magneto was when Tetsuo's gross mutated power came into play.
Especially given how the detonations from this form were compared to that of a Big Bang. Although the authenticity of that observation is questionable. In truth, the Big Bang was a sudden expansion of matter on a universal scale, whereas Tetsuo's explosions are more akin to nuclear blasts, clearly intentional given the post-war symbolism of the Akira story.
Yeah.
The whole creating an alternate universe bit wasn't even part of the original material, so
That
we
is
can't
true.
exactly call it canon.
But let's just say the comparison wasn't superfluous. Let's say Tetsuo did in fact cause a Big Bang capable of creating or destroying an entire entire universe, alternate or otherwise.
Turns
By the way,
out
he
Magneto
freaking
had the
grabbed it.
tools to stop that too. Helmet Head could overpower Hercules, who was strong enough to hold up the skies of Olympus, which is literally heaven and an alternate universe.
This doesn't necessarily mean Magneto could easily destroy a universe with a snap of his fingers, but it does prove he can match a similar level of power. And context is everything. Tetsuo's Big Bang eruption specifically exhibited proton collapse, meaning its atomic structure was primarily an
Proton collapse. And because cells in general have magnetic fields, he can just grab them. That's how he was able to grab it, starting from the very bottom, the cellular level, up.
unstable mess of neutrons and electrons. And Magneto has detected and commanded unstable electrons before. This means Magneto had every means
Literally.
available to take control over this Big Bang.
Damn, and I thought he could just
The
move some
charges
metal
of a
around.
cell.
It's like the question posed by some of the greatest prophets of our time. Fucking magnets. How do they even work?
Magneto's astonishing power and intelligent control over all things magnetism triumphed in the end.
Tetsuo pushed his luck, but didn't have the metal to pull off the win.
The winner is Magneto.
Hey, it was a good
Thank you for
fight.
watching this episode. If
It
you'd
was
like
a
to
good
directly
fight.
support the whole Death Battle team, click that join button and
See, I thought that Magneto was just gonna push Akira to its edge, and then, he was just gonna murder him with that energy blast. But no, Magneto, friggin' atom grabber, atom detonator, decided to literally grab the blast and use it to finish the job. So he finished what he started. And those barriers. I didn't think about those barriers. Because Akira's general power is stronger, but Magneto's works at so many different levels. He goes from friggin' electrons all the way to whole planets. That's such a wide range of skill, of ability. I mean, it's. Oh, man. Poor Tetsuo. It wasn't completely unfair, obviously, but. Oh, did I have an eye rooted the whole time? That's why I rooted for him in the beginning, because I thought he was gonna lose. He freaking did, and. Oh well. In any case, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna go ahead and jump out from here, because I've got a good day of work ahead. It's only 8:39 where I am right now. Wait, no, it's still 7:39 where I am, so this clock is 2 hours ahead. I tried to recalibrate it, it just switched back. Either way, it's whatever. This potato's out. Peace.